everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Restaurant Recipe Recreations. This channel is dedicated to teaching you how to create your favorite signature dishes from the most popular restaurants. And in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to create PFChangs' famous appetizer, their lettuce wraps. Now, they refer to it on their menu as lettuce wraps, but what it is a combination of ginger, garlic, onion, ground chicken, and they serve it in an iceberg lettuce leaf, really. So it's much like you would eat a taco, and that's where the term the lettuce wraps comes from. PFChangs is a famous China bistro, which is what they refer to themselves as, and was co-founded by Paul Fleming. Now, Paul Fleming is made famous by the Fleming Steakhouse restaurant, which is now owned by Bloomin' Brands, which owns Outback Steakhouse. Now, I have everything ready to go here. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I am a big fan of having all of your ingredients portioned out at your fingertips, ready to go for the cooking process. But this is never so true as with Asian cooking. The cooking process with Asian cooking is extremely quick, and so you really need to have everything that you need to go right at your fingertips. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and I will show you how to create PFChangs lettuce wraps. Okay, so for the first part of the production of this dish, we're going to use a food processor. And in the food processor, we're going to add 1 yellow onion that's been cubed. We're going to add 1 2-inch piece of peeled and cubed ginger. Easiest way to peel ginger is just with a vegetable peeler. We're going to add 1 8-ounce can of drained water chestnuts. These happen to be sliced. Make sure you get all the liquid out of the can. And then next, we're going to add 3 medium-sized cloves of garlic. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pulse this up. We want it to be a nice fine grate, but not mushy, so we're not going to over-pulse it. Okay, I had to switch up my food processor because I was having technical difficulties with my last one. So now I'm kicking it with the 1980s Braun. Notice the avocado green dial. It's awesome, actually. You know, in all honesty, some of those older appliances just work better. So here we go. We're going to get going again. Oh, so much better. So much better. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in the liquid, meaning the soy, the hoisin, and then at the very end, we're going to add the ground chicken. What I've got here is 1/4 cup of hoisin. God, and now I just slopped hoisin all over my sleeve. I'm having issues. Serious issues. But according to my husband, I've got a lot of issues. And if you've also noticed, last night at 10:30 at night, I broke my fingernail, so that had me all whipped up. But, you know, it's about adapting. So I'm just going to roll up my sleeve. Ain't nothing but a thing. And we're going to keep going. Cooking is not supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun. All right, now we've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. I prefer the brand Silver Swan. You can buy it in most grocery stores. If you're lucky enough to have an Asian market in your neighborhood or somewhere close, you can definitely get it there. It's one of the most popular soy sauces. Now we're going to use 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. I don't necessarily have a brand that I'm specific to about that. We've got 1 tablespoon of sambal oelek, which is also just known as a chili paste. You can also get that in most of your grocery stores. Any of the major ones anyways. 1 tablespoon of Hoi Fong sriracha. Now, I'm sure everybody is using sriracha, and if you are, you should be using Hoi Fong brand. That is the most popular brand, in my opinion. They've just absolutely perfected sriracha. Let's go ahead and give that a nice stir, and we're going to add in the chicken. 1.5 pounds of ground white meat chicken. Now, because the vegetable is already ground to the consistency that I like, and the chicken is already ground, all we're going to do here is we're going to blend the mixture together. You don't want to make this into a paste. You simply want to incorporate all of the flavors and ingredients. Check out my old school Braun coming through for me. should have just been using this from the beginning. All right, this is getting to be nicely incorporated, but we're going to give it another couple of twists. Okay, here's what you want. You want it to be this color. You want all of the ingredients to be well incorporated and blended together, but you do want it to have still a meaty consistency. We don't want it to be runny or mushy. And next we're going to finish this in the pan. As with all Asian cooking, honestly the best way is with an actual wok, not an electric wok, but an actual wok. Most people don't have access to that. Oh, there's a fire truck going past my house. A lot of people don't have access to wok cooking because you do need an open flame in order to use a wok. The electric woks just don't get hot enough, in my opinion. So you can use a pan, it's completely acceptable, but you need to make sure that that pan is screaming hot. I've got it on the highest heat possible, and I'm just going to let the pan sit and just get as hot as possible before I even add the oil, because you don't want the oil to sit in the pan too long and slowly come up to temperature. You really want it to start sizzling right out of the gate. The oil, if it cooks too long, it has a tendency to have the smell and the taste of a creosote, like a burnt oil taste, and you don't want that. That's nasty. All right, it seems to me the pan is hot. See my broken nail? Oh God, that's awful, isn't it? I gotta get my nails done for next week's episodes. Seems like the pan is hot enough, and we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of canola oil. I like to use canola oil because it's got the least amount of flavor, it doesn't compete. But then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Sesame oil has a very strong flavor. A little bit goes a long way, but you do need plenty of oil in the pan, which is why I've done both the canola oil and the sesame oil. Now once that pan gets, you can always test if your pan is hot enough by taking a little bit of your chicken mixture, and if it starts frying right away, then you know you're good to go. All right, we're going to go ahead and add our meat mixture. Make sure that the whole surface of the pan is covered, but then we're just going to let it sit. Okay, when you're getting close to the end of the cooking process for the chicken, and all of the chicken looks well incorporated with the sauce, the bottom should start to get a little bit of a crust to it because you do want it to have a nice sort of a crunchy consistency. What you're going to do is you're going to add in 3/4 cup of salted and roasted peanuts. Not honey roasted, just salted and roasted. If you are like me, you prefer it without the peanuts, but I'm here to teach you exactly how PFChangs does it, and they have peanuts in theirs. It's a personal taste, but the PFChangs version does have the salted roasted peanuts in it. And since roasted peanuts are obviously already cooked, they're roasted, you don't need to give them any cooking time. You just want to make sure that they are able to sort of mix in with the rest of the flavors. Okay, right at the very end of the cooking process, we're going to add 1/2 cup of sliced green onion. You can use white and green. I cut these on a bias, rather large slices. And you don't want these to cook, you just want to give them enough time to sort of soften up. So really all you're doing is giving it just a nice mix. You can hear how nice the sizzle is. The peanuts are well incorporated. The chicken is nicely cooked. You've got this great dark brown soy hoisin color. That's how you pronounce it if you're from Florida. Hoisin. All right, let's go ahead and get this plated up. Now, PFChangs uses iceberg lettuce only. It's what I prefer. I like the crunch of the iceberg lettuce, and as well, I like the fact that the lettuce is a little bit hardier. So cut the iceberg head in half. Pull off your top leaves, and there's your cup. All right, there you have it. PFChangs lettuce wraps. Now, in these portions, it'll serve about 6 to 8 if you're serving it as an appetizer. It'll serve about 4 if you're serving it as an entree. Okay, there you go. This has been PFChangs lettuce wraps. I hope you enjoyed this episode or any of my others. Please feel free to subscribe. You can also friendscape me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. There you'll learn about upcoming episodes and recipes that I'd like to show you how to create at home from your favorite restaurants. Anyway, signing off. Enjoy, y'all. Have a great day. Love you. Cheers.